The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your lovable, squeezably soft host. Once again, back into the breach, dear friends. And we got a market that is moving. And I have a reason that I think I've got it. But we are probably at the decision point, and we'll be talking about that today. I sent something off of what I was thinking is happening in the market. Kind of briefly touched on it in the last couple of days. But it was a pattern I found everywhere except in the indexes. But it was in a ton of different stocks, and I have a feeling that the majority of the stocks probably moving this market today, and we'll get into the reason why. We have some random thoughts and other stuff. But as we start this show, the S&P is at 2072.82, which is off 18.5 points. Volume has picked up slightly from previous days. We're just a little over 2 billion shares. But I wouldn't say it's fantastic. We still have a very, very few people shorting this market, which suggests to me that we may have considerably more downside until someone decides that this market could go down. And probably when they start actually shorting this market, will probably give you an indication of where the first bounce or a bottom will be had. But we talked a little bit about it yesterday, and that is that you have to really watch in markets where no one's shorting, because there are no natural buyers there. There are only people that would buy dips. And to really get a good short squeeze going, you got to have a lot of shorts. And I think we've run all those people out of the market, except me to a small extent. I wanted to have some a huge asymmetrical bet to the upside, and there weren't a lot out there actually, because if you go and looked at the top 100 stocks and everything else, there wasn't a real good signal yet, other than IBB rolling over, which is one of the reasons why I thought it was time to be to the downside. Speaking of the IBB, 343.76 off almost call it 12 points. So we do have a lot going on out here. Of course, when you look at some of the other indexes, interesting nonetheless. The dollar index, I thought we've kind of made a low out here, probably about 96.20 or 96.30. We're printing out at 96.88 right now, down a little. But my guess is that the Fed is going to continue keeping the pressure on it, but the pressure on it is just going to be enough to make sure it goes up, probably back up to 100, but slowly, very slowly. I think they are done with letting this thing run whole hog. And what can you say on a day when Kraft got bought and Oscar Mayer Wiener's going with it? But whole hog. You get that? How I turned that around? Hey, pretty slick, huh? Anyway, as always, we like to start off the show with a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1966, the Bank of America executive Kenneth Larkin drafts a memo proposing that Bank Americard should expand outside the home state of California and offer credit card services to merchants and retail customers nationwide. The Visa card and Americans' beloved ability to borrow and spend anywhere at any time are born. A new debtor nation has begun. You can always check out what's going on in history, in financial history, on Jason Zoig's blog, which I always have it linked below, and where I find these jewels. But it is an interesting market. I know a lot of people are not big fans of Monsanto. M-O-N, Santo, what is it? Monster Beverage. What's Monsanto's symbol? Can't find it now. I must have written it down wrong. Monsanto. Maybe somebody in the den. MON. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to get a current quote. MON. A lot of people doing it. Basically, the CEO and some of the other executives are out saying that it was their hubris in promoting the technology that contributed to consumer backlash against genetically modified foods. And on the same day that they come out and do a mea culpa, the WHO, I should have probably changed that to capital H, WHO, but the World Health Organization saying that their pesticides cause cancer. Of course, they have no evidence, but they think it causes cancer, but they don't know why. And that is the basis of it. A lot of people have figured out all kinds of things, and decisions aren't always crystal clear. Of course, we got rid of DDT. It only cost 25 million people's lives in Africa, and we saved a few birds and cost 25 million lives in Africa. And you just remember that there's not always great decisions to be made one way or the other. My guess is with 7 billion, 8 billion people going on probably 9 or 10 billion in the near future, we're probably going to make a lot of compromises to make sure there's enough food, and or unless we get a bunch of people wiped off the map with Iran's nuclear weapons, it's going to continue to be a problem in that we're going to have to use technology to get more food. Just thought it was kind of interesting. Monsanto, and not really moving today off 55 cents, but interesting for them to come out. For me, it was their bully tactics against farmers who accidentally had seeds blown into their crops, and Monsanto acted like a bully and pretty horrible. So you have to watch about that. But we shall digress. Anyway, Monsanto out here. Bad numbers. Of course, we had numbers out here this morning. It kind of put a pall over the pretty much the day. Orders unexpectedly fell by 1.4%. They were looking for a 0.2% increase. Part of that's probably going to be related to weather, but it's not going to change much. Non-defense capital goods orders, including aircraft or core capex, also fell by 1.4%. Core capex is an indicator of business investment, so this is a worrisome sign, but started a little bit of the movement down today. Anyway, 13 years after the, I forgot to do this because I've got something out here. Ooh, scary children, very scary. Very scary. It's very scary. It's X-Files scary. 13 years after the end of the series, Mulder and Scully are back this summer with 6 episodes, and mostly we can give Netflix a hand for it if you loved the X-Files. Of course, one of the reasons why is that we have Netflix is down, I think, is because they're starting to fork over some fairly decent money for some of these reruns. And this is why Fox brought back 24. That was a pilot program by Netflix. Today, they're going to throw a wad of cash at Chris Carter, who is the producer of that series. Not bringing back the writer that wrote the best scripts, which is the same guy that wrote Breaking Bad and is running Better Call Saul. But both those doing well on Netflix also. But they've seen just a huge move out here for what else is going on. But you can see what else is happening. But Netflix was kind of down to a day. In fact, let me pop a chart up out here. Yeah, it's down. I'm just see. I mean, this thing gapped up with huge energy, and it's now finally working its way back down into this gap. But we could see 380 on this, I think. Volume has been as good as it was yesterday. So 380, would that be possible? Half fill of that gap or more? I don't think that would be unattainable. But keep an eye on it. I think a lot of people are going to be interested to see what's going on out here. What else? I probably have more news before the end of the breakout here. We were talking earlier about what I saw in the market. And there's a pattern called the asymmetrical triangle. And I've brought it up a few times, but to tell you the truth, a lot of times charts are rather noisy, and I wanted to get a ideal version of a asymmetrical pattern. And so basically what you're talking about is a damped sine wave that gets basically you're looking at lower highs and higher lows, and the volatility shrinks. And if you put basically a triangle pattern over it, like a greater than sign, normally they'll kind of fit pretty much into those trend lines. Now, the idea is to watch these things as they develop. Now, if you put these lines on it, even though it hasn't made it to the end of it, there's a pattern pretty much where it gets to be about 3/4 of the way where this thing would be in an apex and couldn't move any farther. And you'll see these things break really one way hard or another, and it seems almost random. I've not been able to play which way these things move up or down from the asymmetrical triangle pattern. What you can tell is volume be damned. These things will break up, make a head fake, and come right back down. And the question is whether or not you come back into that center line or the center point of this higher lows and lower highs and higher lows pattern, and if it comes back and breaks it. This is normally a head fake, and what you really need to do is watch when this thing breaks. Now, this pattern was in tons and tons of stocks, but not in the major indexes. And I think maybe just a few stocks in the NASDAQ, a few stocks in the S&P, and a lot of action out here has kind of pushed the indexes way away from what is actually driving them, the underlying stocks. But we saw so many of these do something like this, and I think we have a good opportunity to think that this is a head fake. And we will continue to keep an eye on these, but what you don't want to do is see this thing break about 2070, and there's no hard fast and rule. I mean, it may be 2068, maybe something like that, but it's very close to seeing that level. And I think today's going to be a very exciting close out here today. Anyway, we'll be back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Anyway, we're looking at this, and you want to watch that 2070 level, which is kind of where I think this thing comes in. But keep an eye on it. Of course, you can call me at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. And I don't know what else you can say out here. The evidence is right in clear view. Well, you ought to call the somebody in the den saying that Monsanto's evidence is right in clear view. Well, you should call the WHO and tell them the evidence, because they didn't bother to actually give any. So if there is some, maybe they just don't know. Anyway, basically the reporters said, okay, so how do you know that there's a problem? And they just kind of looked there and looked rather dumbfounded. So maybe you need to be on TV and tell them about it. Not being facetious, actually being true. Of course, almost all the problems in the world probably can be helped with more speech, not less, and more people who actually know what they're talking about, not less. But I do digress. Anyway, that's the head fake, and it is a mad market, and I've got a little bit of time. I've got to get something off my chest here, and it's just something that's bugged me for days, and I'm going to bring about it now before I get into charts later. But here it is.
And now, deep insights and random thoughts.
Okay. We had the great movies in late 1970s about John Travolta, and he did his disco dancing, and he had great hair, and he's made good movies again. But what is with his haircut right now? There's absolutely no difference between his haircut now and Eddie Munster's haircut from the 60s television show. If you put those two side by side, you're going to say these guys were separated by birth. I don't understand the sharp little point on the forehead, and especially if you've got all the kind of cash that he has, probably to get a much better job done than that. But it's just bugged me for a couple of days, and I've got to get it off my chest. And there it is.
That was Deep Insights and Random Thoughts.
Now we can get on with the stock market. But some things just bug me, and I can't get away from them. We were looking at Netflix, and I don't see a lot of change out here. We're kind of playing around with these levels. We bounced off the 2069 level. As I said, I thought that 2070 level was going to be the level we need to break to actually get any kind of acceleration to the downside and complete that asymmetrical triangle. Here's basically the do or death point. So we're only looking about 6 points down in the S&P cash. My guess is that maybe we even see that hold off for tomorrow. It's not like it just goes through and blows through. A lot of times this is the last area of support before one of these things fail. And an interesting pattern in that it's about 75% right, and it doesn't seem to matter what the volume is. It's one of those patterns that seems to work extremely well. And just so many of them in the stock market, it may overwhelm what the indexes are telling us these days. But what else can you say? Closing in on 2.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. So what else can we say? And that thing, tell you what, it's even going to bug me through the entire break, is that where did he get that? The guy's got all kinds of money, owns a 740 or a 727 jet, and he can't get a decent barber or somebody to make a hairpiece for him or whatever that dead rat thing he's got on his forehead, on his head, top of his head. Anyway, sometimes it just bothers me to see people like that. Anyway, we're going to get into charts here fairly quick. Some blew through today, and it's not uncommon. This is Apollo Education is one of them. This thing is blown right through everything and auguring in for much lower prices. This had been in a huge and wild distribution pattern. They've been able to talk this thing up for a while. It's one of the last for-profit education companies out here. I know Tom O'Brien's idea on this, but these guys were at the height of fraud in the entire industry anyway, and not Apollo themselves, but I mean the whole for-profit education thing. And it just continues to see like a few of these things have dropped out, but going to be tougher to figure out what else is going on. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. After this break, give me a call, 877-927-6648. And, we'll be back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And thank Steve Z for his voiceover talents on my deep insights. And we'll probably be using that from time to time when I can't just keep it in any longer. What else do we have going on? Oh, we talked about Apollo. That's back down. Avago Technologies. We had a lot of these stocks looking like they could get close to breaking the uptrend. This one's going to need a little farther to go, but certainly looks like we've got some kind of pullback setting up, maybe in the smartphone sector. Avago Technologies gapped up fairly extensively on the 26th of February. That happened with 9 million shares. Today, it's coming down with about 3.3 million shares, but I kind of like at least these things to get about halfway into the gap, if not more. So that would put you at about 116, and where you probably should be looking at Avago if it can come back and fill this gap with continued lighter volume. So you want to keep an eye on that. GMCR, another one of these high flyers that's now looking like it's making an ABC down. Not a lot of volume so far, but it's got to get back down to this February 5th low. A lot of volume there, 10 million shares, so it'd take a lot to break it. So I'm not going to say anything more than a test of the 109.06 low from February 5th. So, what do you got here? I don't have really enough yet to make a determination other than I think you've got the 109.06 low out here February 5th is my friend Tim Ward like to say, high volume lows are not a low until they're retested. High volume highs are not a high until they've been retested. And I think that's exactly what you're going to be looking back into that one for. The Hain Celestial Group may be closer to giving a nice little signal out here. Talk about basically a dragonfly style candle out here. This thing, pretty interesting out here. You got to really keep an eye on this probably tomorrow, HAIN. But this one for a kind of a slow mover out here could have a fairly nice retracement back into this last big sign of strength. That would take you back into this candle of the 4th of February that had 3 million shares. So pretty strong probably support in that area. The close of that day was $57.71. So, you know, you got a pretty good trading range in that one too. Kraft, of course, being bought out. So, well, what else can you say about that other than big ketchup? That's what it's going to be. Giant ketchup is going to probably come after you and your friends and your child's in the near future. Look for the price of ketchup to skyrocket. Well, probably not. But I don't know what else is there to say about this thing other than it's Buffett out there doing his Buffett-like things. And if you buy the entire company and you have like 20% of the shares outstanding, it's pretty easy just to buy a few more shares and drive the price up. So the question is whether or not there's a real market for any of these stocks after Buffett buys them. I don't think he's selling it anytime soon. He said he's going to keep it for 50 years. We'll see how long that lasts after he assumes room temperature. He's not a young man anymore. See how long people keep these. But I think you got to make the determination that he's bought and buying probably his last few companies out here. Maybe, you know, maybe he's around for another 10 years, but I don't think he's around for 50 or 30, like he was talking about buying this morning. Lam Research out here blowing through the last major low, which was February 2nd, $75, 2.2 million shares. And 400,000 shares already past that. You do have a high volume low out in Lam on the October 10th low at $65.78. So you got to keep an eye on that, especially with the IBB. And let's take a quick look at that. With all these biotechs, basically you're in the area here of breaking this uptrend, and you've got pretty huge volume. So probably not going to happen today, but you get another gap down like this fairly soon, and there's probably a good indication that you've broken that downtrend. My guess is that you're probably going to see some light buying in the next few days on this, and in that you move up a little bit, then you close back down. You're going to want to watch the 9-day moving average. If this thing starts closing above it and then back below it, that's probably going to be the last sign of death on this one. Lexmark was out buying another company today. I don't know if there's a lot you can put into this other than the fact that it went right up to the previous high and came right back down. And again, this is probably a bad day to come out with news like this for them. On a good day, maybe they get a little bit more traction. To this day, basically, they went 10 cents higher than the February 17th high that had 800,000 shares. They did it with 3.2 million shares, and boom, right back into the trading zone, which is what we see so much of today. Morningstar Mortgage Holdings, MSN, down with monstrous volume. You've got a low back here, $22.94, the January 13th low. I didn't catch the news on this. Maybe we can get the headlines here. In the meantime, you can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, and you can post a message in the den. This is the second company in a couple of days that offered a huge secondary out here. Morningstar, Nation Star Mortgage Holdings posted a big decline. And the Russell 1000, after the services or home loans raised about $500 million by selling shares. And we're getting a lot of that, either people selling additional shares and or, of course, basically cutting I'm kind of distracted here. Dividends. I'm reading this little article, speed reading it, and not doing a good job. I'm certainly not one of those multitaskers. I've got pretty good focus on things. Why I kind of hide out in my dungeon and my solitude, fortress of solitude when I trade, so I can be rather focused. Big down day in Novavax. See if we get some headlines on this guy out here. Announces $175 million public stock offering. So another one out here, up at the highs, more than willing to liquidate its shareholders at highs. And you never like this. Well, let's see what this thing looks like. You know, you had a higher high on higher volume out here too, and they still pulled right back into the trading range. This thing just broke a couple of days ago, the February 23rd high at $9.83 on 6.4 million shares, went to $9.95 on 8.7 million shares, and again, right back into the trading zone that day and back in. So I don't know what else you can say. High volume day was back on the 16th of January, 40.4 million shares. That makes support at about $6.50, maybe $6.60. So we'll continue on. What else do we have going on out here? Tesla, there was a downgrade out here today. Also in the news, somebody with a smartphone caught their new X version car, which is a SUV crossover. And that's part of the downgrade today, is that at a price point under $50,000, they expect the margins to be probably a little less than the 25% they're getting with the S model, and more like 17 to 18%. Of course, most car manufacturers offer somewhere between 6 and 8%. The luxury brands sometimes 10 to 11%. So Tesla's been making a huge amount of money that is not normal for the industry. And the question is, what does this company look like in future growth if it comes back to industry and sector norms? And that's what's got everybody worried today. TSO, Terso, I think that's how it's pronounced. This thing made a fairly decent test of its high on lower volume. Tried to get back into it today, February 27th, $94.83. And that was 3 million shares. Got up to it $94.71. So a dime short. Tesoro? Huh. Tesoro. I know they're a big deal. Just never run across them in all my worldly adventures and travels. Pulled back a little, not much volume out there today, not much volume the day before, but certainly has made a sign out here that this thing's probably back in a trading range between this $94.71 and $84.22. Probably going to pull back to about $89 and before it does some consolidation, and maybe things change in the oil patch. WW Wave, White Foods had some news out here, but again, spiking up to $44.40, kind of back in, but not horrible out here. And probably the one that interested me the most, I was talking to Andy Heck over the last few days, and I sent him a few of these charts. And that was some of these steel stocks. And I said, you know, these steel stocks have gotten back into the lows with very, very light volume. Something's going on. And it wasn't so much what was going on in iron or even the demand. It was a news article that I saw late last night. A lot of times you see stuff in the charts that happens later. And in this case, in the steel stocks, it was giant World Trade Organization tariffs and bans on China's steel all over the world, and not a lot of volume out here today. Apparently, it was not a well-guarded secret because people started buying it back a few days ago, but the first I saw of it. As always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and of course, you can post a message in the den and or email me at path.tfnn. Here's some links for me. He's sending me some links on Monsanto. Herbicide to cancer, herbicide health issues, disease, Roundup health study, and these. Well, like I said, it was the World Health Organization guy that could have used these. I know a lot of people say these things. It's just you get up in front of somebody and they ask you where your evidence is. I think you should, if you're going to make a claim like that, you probably should be loaded with all these links out here that our fine listener, was it Thunder, sent me. Anyway, thanks for those links. I'll have to look at them after the show. But I don't know what else you can say. Let's look at some other stocks. This is kind of what was moving on out here. And let's see what we have out here. Wanted to see how some of these were doing. Torchmark Corporation, another one of these, tested a higher volume, but is pulled back into the trading range. In the case of Torchmark, the December 29th, $55.88 with 260,000 shares. Actually had some decent volume into this spike of March 23rd with 680,000 shares, but right back into the trading range out here. TPX, we talked about this for the last couple of days, and that is these bed manufacturers and what was going to happen in housing. You know, we had good numbers in housing. These things went right up to the top and then stopped. In the case of Tempur Sealy International, TPX, it's this October 30th high at $59 with 1.8 million shares. We got into it on the 20th with 900,000 shares. So I don't know what else you can say. 500,000 shares, 388,000 shares today, 176. Not a lot of volume back here, but certainly we hit these highs and volume developed and everybody turned tail and ran. So I don't know what else you can say about that. We'll be watching for those high volume highs to be retested, though. Here's kind of what I'm talking about when we're talking about higher highs, or I mean lower highs and higher lows. And this Ternium symbol is TX out here is kind of setting that up. But I think we're probably, if you watch this one, maybe it'll give you a good idea what I'm talking about, asymmetrical triangles. TZA, you know, this thing, pretty decent turnaround out here today. And, you know, pretty decent volume out here. Not a real signal, as you would normally say, but certainly some decent movement. That's what I was saying. A lot of these indexes not giving the same signals that the individual stocks have been giving. Let's check the S&P here before we go to break. 2071.74. Watch out for probably a break at 2068. I think would probably be we'll be back in a minute.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at tfnn.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Got a few stocks to look at here before the end of the day. Still have time to give me a ring and or email me. Went through the rest of my email during the break here. But that's it. Anyway, like I said, not a lot of these big indexes giving the same kind of signal. We'll be watching how this thing closes, but it doesn't look like we've got a lot of people running in to buy this dip yet today. 2.32 billion shares. Volume is kind of light out here, but a lot of times, how these things get started on light volume. It's kind of like huge moves at the low. No one believes them. The same thing with huge moves at the highs. No one believes them either, and volume comes in later. And that's what you really have to keep an eye out for. See if there's anything else out here. Well, I think we had a phone call, what was it, on Thursday last week about Apple, and I thought we'd probably get at least back into the 125s on it. And APPL, I think the caller was short at 123, probably getting about as close to getting our money back as possible. The only downside of this, probably being short the stock right now, of course, is them coming out with some kind of PR blitz on the watch. I've seen a few more of them. Doesn't seem to be doing any good today, but volume not picking up so much and so far today. I think the volume on Apple is going to be very telling by the end of the day, but I would suspect that 121.63 is opening up if we do get some decent volume out here today, but it's going to have to pick up before that happens. What else do we have out here with our couple of minutes remaining? Zoetis, another one of these pharma stocks out here. This one is kind of interesting because, again, these things bucking their highs with either higher volume or lower volume, pulling back into the trading range. On Zoetis out here, the February 12th high, $47.40, 6.9 million shares. Tried to get into it with 5.2 million shares on the 2nd of March. And, of course, peaked above it, did a little turtling, a little prairie dogging, stuck its head out of the hole, and did it with 4.5 million shares. So you've got basically a couple highs out here on lighter volume, and now this thing's back into the trading range. And this thing did gap up with significant volume on the 11th of February, and my guess it's coming back into that gap, which would put you in at about 44.25. What else do we have out here? WHL. William Lyon Homes, kind of a light volume stock out here. Wanted to see how this one was doing. It really going up against the February 24th high, where this thing hit $24.16 with just a little over 500,000 shares. Yesterday got into it with 244,000 shares. Today down with 121. So again, not a lot of volume picking up in some of these stocks at the highs, but certainly not breaking out, and that continues to be problematic. What else do we have out here? TZA, TX, we looked at those. VICL, got 1 minute left. Fipple Communications, and nothing much on that. I think we've probably found, this is kind of interesting. Verisk Analytics, VRSK, could be making an ABC down out here, which would be fairly significant. Volume has not picked up on it either, but it's into this down candle of March 10th. If this thing was doing a ABC down, we got $6. I could be looking at 65 on this one. Yeah. Be back into the support area back from December 23rd of 2015. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, so when you can, not when you have to. We'll catch you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.